Not every game is for everybody, and that's okay. I know what games I don't enjoy, ones that waste my time. Before you get angry, let me clarify what I mean by that. I mean a game that either erases progress or doesn't have an ending. Anything that I feel like I can't beat, I don't enjoy. Knowing this, I decided to try out Animal Crossing New Horizons in 2020 because while all of you were stuck in quarantine, here in New Zealand we could actually go outside, and since that's where all of the normal people were, I stayed inside to play more video games and thought I'd jump into the most global phenomenon. Well, maybe the second most global phenomenon. And you know what? I played that game way longer than I thought I would. I've always loved mellowly filling out checklists and wandering around open worlds. Animal Crossing was a game built around that feeling of methodically inching towards the next item and hitting the next dopamine-inducing milestone. Here's the problem, and it's a me problem, not a game problem. Whenever I do mosey around open worlds for fun, my brain goes, you should be playing a new game right now. There are so many crucial titles you haven't played. Why are you wasting time in this one? It's a psychological issue based around my existential fear of time and wasting it. That's why I upload so frequently, to silence the voice in my brain by showing it how hard I work on all these videos, and I'm able to relax knowing that I achieve a lot. But back to Animal Crossing, knowing that there was no end in sight eventually pulled me away from the game. But I don't think the answer is to just add an ending, that wouldn't work. But I do think the answer is a story mode. I know it doesn't have to be a Christopher Nolan film or anything, just an unfolding series of storylines about how certain villages need specific tasks done and furniture built. Maybe there's a Blathers storyline about what kind of animal he needs, and you have to catch one. Now, that's already in Animal Crossing New Horizons in the form of daily missions, which are essentially MMORPG quests where you grind a resource and then turn it in. Of course, I'm not suggesting that aspect of the game change. That's the core gameplay loop of Animal Crossing, and repetition is essential to the relaxation aspect that the game sells itself on. But I would suggest having a Blathers questline that involves capturing certain creatures for him. This would help boost the museum attendance and help him overcome his fear of insects. Give us 20 missions to complete for him, and then give the player the completionist objective of capturing every animal. So what I'm basically suggesting is turning Animal Crossing into a Western RPG, with hundreds of quests and quest lines to complete, where the player can make a minimal amount of progress on each one when the opportunity arises. This is similar to how a player will do a quest in Skyrim because it's in the same location that another quest has already sent them to, helping them make incremental progress towards the daunting but achievable task of finishing every quest. I suppose a better comparison would be Monster Hunter, which features a series of campaigns that involve hunting one of each monster, culminating in a final battle against a tyrannical beast that's threatening the hub area. Because even when you finish the main story of a Monster Hunter game, you're nowhere near finished, as the game truly starts to open up after that point, and I think Animal Crossing could give players that same experience. By giving the player direct and concrete goals at the beginning of the game, they could ensure that the player will experience all the core activities and not grow bored because they decided to go fishing all day and then decide that the game is boring. I love it when games give me the freedom to explore and make my own choices, but maybe it just needs to be a bit more stimulating for that to work, like in Breath of the Wild. But there is one more extremely controversial thing that I would really like to add to Animal Crossing that realistically would never work, but I'd still love it if it were implemented. Timed challenges. I know the whole point of the game is to be zen and stress-free. Still, I just need some tension. Even if it's the most adorable game ever put on console, it's not like time limits would be a new thing to Animal Crossing. Remember when everyone was desperately trying to catch a stringfish before the end of March? But how do time limits work in a game with time travel? Well, they don't. But changing the clock can just be the cheating it always was, and then the time limits can be optional for people who want a bit of tension. The critical thing about the time limits is that they would be opt-in only. You could take out a massive loan from Tom Nook, and instead of him giving you infinite time to pay it back, he would give you a month or something, and if you didn't pay it back, he would repossess your most expensive items. Of course, that might lead the player to just grinding the most effective bell-making method over and over, which is why he'll also require a certain amount of materials, fruits, items, and anything else his greedy little raccoon brain can think of. Do I think any of this is actually a good idea and should be in the next Animal Crossing? No, not at all. This game is wildly successful doing what it's always done. It just doesn't click for me and some others, and I thought it would be a fun experiment to see what would make me fall in love with it. If you enjoyed this video, check out this one about how I'd fix Mario Kart, and I'll be back in 2 days.